technology. He's the inventor of jerk technology, multiple discriminatory type atoms, multiple answer type atom, moral discussion model and educational clinics. He has taught business research method and quantitative techniques in IIM Indore from 2004 to 2008. He's also taught business research methods in Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, IIFT, New Delhi. He has published extensively both in Indian and foreign journals of repute. After retirement, he has conducted 180 workshops of 7 to 15 days on research methodology, statistics and use of SPP, the SPSS all over India. He has given 667 webinar lectures, each of 2 to 3 hours in different topics, including research methodology, statistics, and use of SPSS. He has invented agile technology, multiple discriminant type atoms, multiple answer type atoms, educational clinic, and etc. Dr. Sanson Wall was given a Best Teacher Educator Award by All India Association of Teacher Educators and India. Dear participants, today's dimensional personality, Dr. D.N. Sansanwal sir is here. We are waiting for listening the topic that is literature review and data resources. Now I request Dr. Sansanwal sir to start the today's session. Dr. Sansanwal sir, now we can continue this session.
Thank you. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share some of my understanding of the research methodology, statistics, and SPSS. Now, I asked the 2 questions. Any one of you have answer, please let me know. अगर आप में से इसका क्वेश्चन अगर मालूम है आंसर, तो प्लीज लेट मी नो व्हाट इज द आंसर दैट यू हैव. You can write your answer in the chat box. I will see it.
Sir, systematic activity is related to which activity follow some system procedures or some code of conduct, ethics of the rules and regulations which we have to study or we have to follow in our research process. Okay. That is the systematic activity.
Okay. Okay. Why do we follow all these? What happens if we do not follow? That will give you the answer of what is a systematic activity. Why do we follow the rule? Why do we follow the steps? If we do not follow the steps, what will happen?
The solution has not come, or solution will not come in proper manner.
So what should be the definition of a systematic activity? Systematic activity is one where the probability of success is maximum. If you do activities and the probability of success is not maximum, then you cannot call it a systematic. So systematic activities, if you want activities, are those where the probability of success is maximum. Or if you want to use it singular, then you can systematic activity is one where the probability of success is maximum. This is the appropriate definition of the word systematic. Okay, we proceed further. I have for you, these are the titles of the PhDs which have been awarded. I have not written the name of the university. You can find out the name of the university from the Shodh Ganga. Please see, can this be the title of a research? Regional disparities in socio-economic development in Uttar Pradesh 2020, and the PhD was awarded in 2022. So it is up to here, Uttar Pradesh. The PhD degree was awarded in 2022. Now this cannot be the title of a research. So please understand, the most of the titles which I saw in geography in different universities, I could not find even a single title which is technically correct. So it is not a title of a research at all. Number one. Now you see that in this one, they had written research questions and they also wrote the objectives. I have taken some research questions. What are the levels of agricultural? What are the levels of agricultural infrastructure, infrastructural, social and economic developments at district level in state of Uttar Pradesh? If you have already written Uttar Pradesh in the title, why should you write in the research question? There is no need, because this research question is related to this particular title. Then another is, what are the dimensions of development in Uttar Pradesh? These cannot be the research questions. Now you see the objective. Now objective is to evaluate the levels: agricultural, infrastructural, social, economical development at that district. Then what is the difference between research question and objective? Both are same. If both are same, then why should we write both? This is wrong. Then you say, what are the dimensions of development? The second is to find out the dimensions of development in Uttar Pradesh. Now both objectives and research questions are same. So one should not write both in one particular research. It is technically wrong. Now you further see, the title is technically wrong. Objectives are technically wrong. You cannot use the word evaluate, because you cannot evaluate anything. You cannot find out. Find out word is to be used when you have lost something and you are finding out. In research, you can't lose anything. So both the words are wrong, and hence the objectives are wrong. Now you see, this is another title: Impact of Environmental Pollution on Human Health in Agra, and this is 2022 year. Now it is impact of environmental pollution on human health. This is not the title of a research. Now you cannot use the word impact. Because impact word is you have to do something and then you study. You cannot create environmental pollution first to study. Now here is to examine. You can't use the word examine. This is wrong. To assess, you cannot use the word assess. To suggest, in research, you cannot suggest. You cannot suggest. If you have to suggest, that cannot be the objective. Now then you have research question. You can see, does the increase in vehicular population influence ambient air quality? Does the household waste and industrial effluent into the water bring down its quality? Does the increase in vehicular population increase the noise pollution? Now you can see here is a waste. The waste, household waste is there. So you are writing the same for research question and objective. That's wrong. Now this cannot be the hypothesis, because here status of housing condition. Now you cannot have the quantitative data, and the wording of hypothesis is wrong. And now here human health is positively related with polluted indoor environment. Now will you have the quantitative data? If human health is positively related, what is the meaning of human health? Is it weight? Is it height? Is it blood pressure? It is body temperature? Is it hemoglobin? Is it what? And then in this research, they said primary data. And yesterday I told you there cannot be primary data. Primary is a source. Secondary is a source. It is wrong. So my dear friend, I'm just putting before you the quality of researches in geography. It is very bad because titles are not properly formulated, the objectives are not properly worded, and they have written both objective as well as research question. I have some other examples also, but I think I may skip that. Now here is another title, the impact of irrigation. They don't know where to use the word impact, where to use the word effect, where to use the word influence, and where to use the word impact. And it is not the title of a research, because you can't word the impact. A study of is important. Anyway, the objectives are to examine the impact of irrigation on rural household well-being and calorie intake. And now you can see there is no significant there's no statistically significant difference between irrigator and non-irrigator in terms of consumption and calorie intake. Consumption of what? Is it the consumption of the wheat, or consumption of sugar, or consumption of what? And then they also have written the research objective after the hypothesis. And what is the contribution of irrigation to farmers' livelihood? So through these examples, I am just bringing to your notices that the quality of research in geography is very, very, very poor. Okay, we proceed. I was just trying to tell you yesterday the variables and the constant. And I told you a variable may be held constant. You know, these are the different examples which I gave you: number of days in a week, total hours in day and night, then sum of three angles of a triangle, the value of pi, and you know the value of pi is 22/7. So all these are constants. Now a variable may be held constant. A variable may be held constant, but a constant cannot be made variable. This is important. Say you have the Marathi medium. A Marathi medium is there, then medium of instruction is constant. If you have the college, which is girls' college, then you are keeping gender as a constant. So if medium of instruction, then here the language is constant, or the medium of instruction is constant. Language is constant. Language of is constant. If you see, you have the girls' college, then here the type of college is constant. No, I'm sorry. The gender is constant, not types of college. Gender is constant. If you have girls' college, the gender. If you have government college, then here type of college is constant. If you do any research in the rural area, so then here the locale is constant. So like this, any variable, you may keep it constant for a particular period and particular duration of the time, but the basic nature remains a variable. I hope you have understood it. Now next is, what are the types of variable? Any one of you like to tell me the types of variable? Any one of you like to tell me what are the types of variable?
Dependent and independent.
Please repeat once again.
Dependent variable and independent variable.
All right. Any other participant? Any other participant? Now the types of variable everywhere are, one variable is called continuous variable. And another variable is called discontinuous variable. Or you can say discrete variable. These are the two types of variable in all subjects. I will give you example. So continuous variables are those which can be expressed both in whole number as well as fraction. I'll give example. See the size of a plot. The size of land. Do you think it is always in the whole number or it can be in fraction? Do you think size of a plot is always in the whole number or it can be in fraction? Any response? भाई आप नहीं बोलोगे तो फिर बेकार है ये वेबिनार. राठौर साहब, आप सुन रहे हैं मेरी बात या नहीं सुन रहे हैं?
Dear participants are requested to become active and answer the sir questions, whatever the questions are raised by sir. Hello, participant, be active. Hello. Hello. Hello.
चलो.
Okay, sir.
So size of plot or size of land is a continuous variable. Height is a continuous variable.
Wait.
Weight is a continuous variable. Achievement in geography is a continuous variable. Temperature is a continuous variable.
Yes, sir. Number of COVID cases in Maharashtra in
No.
pandemic period.
No, it is not a continuous variable, it is a discrete variable. So that is wrong. See hemoglobin. Power of length.
Slope.
Age.
Again, what are you saying?
Age, sir.
Slope.
Okay, age is a continuous variable.
Yes, sir.
So power of lens, the cost of anything you can say. Now, if you want reasoning, is a continuous variable. Intelligence is a continuous variable.
Slope.
Eh? It's not clock, it is time. Time of running. It's not a clock. Time of running, you should say. So there are many variables which will be continuous because you can express them in whole number as well as in fraction. Now there are many variables which are discontinuous. So discontinuous variables are those which can be expressed only in whole number. Now here examples are now number of participants. Number of COVID-19 patients. Types of car. Types of soil. Just a wait. मेरा जो है 6:30 बजे फिर है, 5 बजे फिर निवारण वही तो प्रिंसिपल का काम 100%. I will be there soon. Correct. Okay. Okay. So if you have that type of soil, so it's a discontinuous variable. If you have salt in the soil, this can be a continuous variable. The water, amount of water that a particular plant needs, height of plant,
Male or female?
so male and female is a discontinuous variable. It is not continuous. I was writing continuous variable. So if you have gender, discontinuous variable. Medium of instruction is a discontinuous variable. Caste is a discontinuous variable. Marital status is a discontinuous variable. Number of lines on pages. Number of words per line. Then colors. Do you want more example or are these enough? आपको और एग्जाम्पल चाहिए या सफिशिएंट है? Do you need more examples or are these enough?
Enough, sir.
Okay. Now, so these are the two types of variable which you have in your geography. Whether you do qualitative research or you do survey research or you do experimental research or you case study, in everywhere you will have these variables. But only in experimental research, the variables are now if you are doing an experimental study, then and only then you can use these words. One word is called independent variable. And another word is called dependent variable. Now, these words you cannot use in historical research. You cannot use in philosophical research. You cannot use in survey research. You cannot use in case study research. Let me give you an example. If you have the quality of food and you have your health, now you can bring change in the health by changing the quality of food. So if you change the quality of the food which is in your hand, then it will bring change in your health. So the quality of food is an independent variable and health becomes a dependent variable. Now, if you have monthly income and if you have quality of food, now if your monthly income improves, your quality of food will also improve. So monthly income becomes an independent variable and quality of food becomes a dependent variable. Now please understand, the quality of food is an independent variable in one first example, and the quality of food is a dependent variable in the second example. What is the meaning? The meaning is no variable forever is dependent or independent. It is to be decided by the situation, by the condition. Now, when you were small and your parents were earning, then you dependent on your parents. When you became young and you start earning, and when your parents became old, now your parents depend on you. So once upon a time, your parents were independent, and at some point of time now your parents are dependent on you. So, and today you are independent, but a time will come when you will also be dependent on your children. So that means you cannot use independent and dependent word in survey research, in historical research, in philosophical research, in qualitative research, in case study research. No, you should use the continuous variable and discrete variable. Now, if I take one more example, that if I say method of teaching, and I say your understanding. So your methods of teaching becomes an independent variable and your understanding becomes a dependent variable. But your understanding may also depend on your previous understanding. It may also depend on your study habit. It may depend on your reasoning. It may depend on your concentration, etc., etc. So that means your understanding may change because of the methods of teaching, as also because of the previous knowledge or previous understanding, the study habit, the reasoning, the concentration. So there might be changes in the understanding because of teaching and because of such variables. Now, if you conduct a research, an experimental research, then you have to control such factors, because these factors will bring change in the dependent variable in the presence of independent variable. Can any one of you tell me what is the name given to such variables? You know, whenever the doctor comes from home and before going to the operation theater, he changes his clothes. Why? He puts mask. Why? He puts gloves. Why? Any answer? It is called intervening variable. So intervening variables are those which are in the process or outside the process. But bring change in the dependent variable in the presence of independent variable. See, right now, wherever you are sitting, if there are children playing around you, then you may miss some of my statements. So why? Because of the noise. Now, wherever you are sitting, if you are uncomfortable, then you may not be able to concentrate, and therefore you may miss some of my statements. All these are intervening variables. Why do we wash our hand before taking our food? Because hands might be dirty. So that is an intervening variable. So these intervening variable might be in the process or outside the process. Now those which are in the process, that is called intrinsic intervening variables, and another is called extrinsic intervening variables. And another is called extrinsic. So intrinsic intervariables are in the process and extrinsic are outside the process. So intrinsic intervening variables are always in the process, and extrinsic intervening variables are always outside the process. And now there is one more type of variable. See, are you understanding because of your height? Are you understanding because of your weight? Are you understanding because of your skin color? The answer is no. But every participant height is different, weight is different, the skin color is different. And these are the variables in the process, but you are not understanding according to this. So these are called concomitant variables. Concomitant variables are those which are in the process, but do not bring change, in the dependent variable in the presence of independent variable. Now, your extrinsic intervening variable is also called confounding variables. Now, please understand, this independent variable is always the discontinuous variable. It is also called treatment. And it is always discontinuous variable. And dependent variable is always continuous variable. And your intervening variable is both continuous as well as discontinuous. And your concomitant variable is always, it may be continuous or discontinuous. So these are the relationships between the independent variable, the dependent variable, the intervening variable, and concomitant variable on one hand, and continuous and discontinuous variable on another hand. So whenever anyone asks you, if you want to say independent and dependent, then you must say only in experimental research, the variables are dependent and independent. But if it is not experimental research, then the variables are continuous and discontinuous variable. That's what you should try to do. So I have given you the variables. And now, can you try to think of one particular question's answer? If I ask you a simple question, will you be able to answer? I don't know. मैं पूछूं क्वेश्चन या नहीं पूछूं? Should I ask question or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the question is, for a variable, what should be the minimum what should be the minimum value of standard deviation. Any answer? The second, another question is that can the value of standard deviation be negative? And another question is, can standard deviation value be greater than mean? Anyone like to answer any of these questions? Okay.
Sir, minimum value of standard deviation is closest to 0, 0.05, 0.005. It is that value is close to the 0. This is my answer.
Why not away from 0? Why not 10? Why not 15? I can give you the data and the standard deviation value can be 17.5. Your answer will be correct provided you make small change in your answer. Excellent, very good thinking. Any other person like to answer? Okay, no problem. Now next is, once I have told you about the variables, the next question is, from where will you get these variables? And that comes sources of problem. So can any one of you tell me what are the sources of problem?
Sources of problem is society, available literature, different class in class bifurcations or the
Okay.
wars.
Okay. All right. Any other participant like to say anything? Let me tell you, one of the very important source of the problem is the last word I am telling you first. Literature. What is the meaning of literature? What is the meaning of literature?
Observations of the society. ये लिटरेचर है, ये तो समाज का आईना होता है सर. यानी
लिटरेचर हम किसको कहेंगे? रिसर्च में हम लिटरेचर किसको कहते हैं? समाज का आईना, समाज आईना है, वो इससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है. दैट्स नॉट ए लिटरेचर. लिटरेचर किसे कहते हैं हम? लिटरेचर इज नॉट इंग्लिश. लिटरेचर इज नॉट हिंदी. लिटरेचर इज नॉट मराठी. लिटरेचर इज नॉट गुजराती. लिटरेचर मीन्स जर्नल. Literature means e-journals.
Newspaper, books, thesis.
No, just hold on. The literature means thesis. The literature means Shodh Ganga. Literature means dissertation, abstract, international. Okay. And in education, there are surveys of research in education. I'm not telling you that. So these are what is called the literature. And these must be related. And you have to review it. So review of related literature is one of the sources of problem. और ये बहुत ही important है. कोई भी सब्जेक्ट ऐसा नहीं है जिसमें आपका रिव्यू ऑफ रिलेटेड लिटरेचर ना हो. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, इट इज नॉट रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर. काफी लोग बाग लिखते हैं रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर, दैट इज टेक्निकली इनकरेक्ट. ये यस गो अहेड.
नाही असाल पण काय सांगतात की बायको पुढे काही मुलं समजूतदार होतात आणि काही उगाच होतात जास्त.
भैया ऑर्गेनाइजर्स, कैन यू सी के लोग बाग बीच में गप मार रहे हैं, बातें कर रहे हैं. प्लीज रिक्वेस्ट.
Please, participant, don't talk each other.
No, if they want to talk, they can mute themselves and can talk, no problem. Okay, so therefore, the word related is very important. Okay, that if you are doing research in geography related to some land in the urban area, then your literature must be related to the urban area researches. Okay, so that is the meaning of related. And in many of the books I have seen, they write review of literature, which is technically incorrect. Because whatever the subject you have and whatever the area you are touching in the research, it has to be related to that. Now, if you see that, then you may come across something like this. That you may find that no research has been undertaken. Say, if you want to see the air pollution, and if you find that no research has been conducted, then naturally, if no research has been conducted, that means there is a gap. And if you think that no, there is a need to conduct researches related to the air pollution or water pollution or soil pollution or any other pollution, then that means your related literature will help you to find out whether researches have been conducted or researches have not been conducted. And if not been conducted, then it means there is a gap. And if there is a gap, then you can think of conducting research related to that aspect. Okay, so this is the one, and this you will get only and only when you refer to the related literature. And that is why each researcher must read lot of researches which are available in one's own library or nearby libraries, or these days on Shodh Ganga. Read them and collect it. That is very important. Next is, if no research has been undertaken. I have said no research, then a few researches have been undertaken. If a few researches have been conducted, do you think there is a need to conduct more researches or not? If a few researches have been conducted, do you think there is a need to conduct more researches or not? I am asking you. राठौर जी, मैं फिर क्वेश्चन ना पूछूं, मैं डायरेक्ट इंफॉर्मेशन देता जाऊं क्या?
नहीं, पूछो सर, पूछो. Hello, dear participants are requested to involve in teaching. Whatever the question asked by the resource person, you should respond there. Hello, participant, be active. Hello.
बोलो भैया, कोई पार्टिसिपेंट बोलना चाहता है या नहीं? ओके, नहीं बोलना चाहता, डोंट वरी अबाउट इट, आई विल नॉट आस्क क्वेश्चन. A few researches have been conducted, but on the basis of the findings of the few researches, no generalization can be made. Therefore, there is a need. There is a need to conduct more researches of the same type. The third option can be that large number of researches have been conducted.
The participants
If large number of researches have been conducted, then there are two situations. The situation number one is there is a consistency in findings. And if there is a consistency in findings, then there is no need of conducting research, no need of conducting same type of research. But if the finding, if there is an inconsistency, if there is inconsistencies in findings, then there is a need to conduct more researches of the same type. So this is how your review of related literature can help you to find out the gap, or it can help you to find out a few researches, gap, the few researches, or it will help you to find out the inconsistencies in finding. So this is how your review of related literature is very, very, very important in research, because it will help you to select the variable. Then there is another one, and another one is a theory. Now, see, there are theories, you know, that when the student, he stands first in the university exam, why the university gives the gold medal to the student? Because they want to encourage other students also. So giving the gold medal means you are encouraging others. This is known as theory of motivation. Now, whenever someone gives you a correct answer, then why do you say very good, excellent? Because you want to motivate. So there are many theories which you know how to use, but there might be some theories which might be remain unutilized. So there might be unutilized or underutilized. Unutilized theory or underutilized theories. So you can make this also your source. But in India, not many researchers, they are using this as a source. They are using review of related literature as a source. But unutilized or underutilized theory can also be the source. Another is the seminar or the conference. Now, if you are attending a seminar where an expert from outside is giving a talk, and if you are listening to him, it is quite possible that you may get the problem, you may get the variable on which you can conduct a research. And if you would not have attended the seminar or a conference, then you would not have got that variable. In seminar and conferences, the people, they make a presentation of their research. And when they are making the presentation of their research, then the participants may suggest some modification in the research, or some participants may think that let me also conduct this type of research. So if you are not attending the seminar and you are not presenting a paper in the seminar, then you may not really get chance to think of a new problem. So the seminar and the conferences, they are also the source of the problem. And then another is a very informal source. I call it an informal source If you want to name any other, you can name absolutely. Because they do not understand the theory. Now, without understanding the theory, you cannot think of conducting the research. So, Kamble, this is the main important reason why people in India do not make unutilized theory as a base.
Okay, sir.
Let me tell you, in education, there were two people. I thought I will not give this example, but I can give example. There were two people. One name was Bruce Joyce and another was Marsha Well. These people, they were husband and wife. These people discussed and found that many theories are available in the books. And these theories, if utilized by the teacher during teaching, then the teaching will become effective. The effectiveness of the teaching will improve. But they found that these theories were not used by the teacher during the teaching. So they started discussing that what might be the reason. Now, one of the reasons can be that the teachers may not knowing the theory. Number one. Number two, maybe the teachers may not know how to use that particular theory in the teaching. The number three is there are no material available which the teacher can read and can understand and can use it. Another reason is there are no trainings where they are given training as we are giving training in the research, that they are giving training in developing a research around a theory. So these people, they use the theories and they came up with models of teaching. Each model is based on a particular theory. You know, whenever you are teaching concept. I do not know how you teach the concept, whether you are teaching concept through lecture method or through some other method. Let me tell you, the lecture method is never developed for teaching concept. Lecture method is for giving large amount of information in short time. So the Bruce Joyce and Marsha Well, they came up with a model and they called it a concept attainment model. And this model has got steps. And this model is based on a theory. If that theory would not have been underutilized or unutilized, then Bruce Joyce and Marsha Well would not have come up with models of teaching. The models of teaching came up because the theories were unutilized or underutilized. Now, you know how your mobiles came up. Why mobiles could not come up in 1950 because the theory was there. The informal source. Your informal source is something like your radio, your TV, the newspaper, etc. Now, dear friends, our Prime Minister, at the end of the month, he gives Man Ki Baat, a talk under a program titled as Man Ki Baat. If you are attending that regularly, then you may think of conducting a research and you may try to find out what are the benefits of this talk. And therefore, if you do that, then the source of the problem is radio or TV. Now, many of the news comes in the newspaper or in the TV or in the radio also. Now, when the demonetization happened, the news came in the night in the TV. But majority of the people, they came to know only next day in the morning through the newspaper. And if you are a researcher, you may like to conduct a research that what are the advantages of the demonetization? What are the problems of the demonetization? And so the source of the problem will be then your TV or radio or newspaper. So many a times you do get, see, you are from geography, pollution is a major problem in India. It is happening. In Delhi, during winter, you know, the pollution is too much. So you can conduct a research related to that pollution. And you know that the news comes in the newspaper, etc., etc. And they give the data also. So nevertheless, but I will tell you, informal source is not very good for selecting a problem for the PhD. It may be all right for selecting a problem for writing a research paper, but not a very good source for the research problem. So therefore, for the research problem, the best source is review of related literature or the unutilized and underutilized theory. These are the best. And one more is quite all right, can be your conference and the seminar. But many a times when you present a paper in the conference or the seminar, these papers you may like to modify. And after modifying, you may like to send it for publication. So sometime the paper presented in the seminar may become part and parcel of the review of related literature because you get it printed. So otherwise, these are the sources of problem. And review of related literature is the one of the 4 sources. And my dear friend, review of related literature cannot be the step of the research. In many of the books, it is given review of related literature as a separate step. No, because review of related literature is helping you in step number 1. It will also help you in step number 2. It will also help you in step number 3. It will also help you in step number 4. So anything that becomes part and parcel of the other steps, then it cannot be an independent step. So please never tell to your students that review of related literature is a separate step. No, it is not a separate step. So under the step number 1, identification of problem, I have told you the variable, I have told you the types of variable, and I've told you the sources of problem. Any question you want to ask before I proceed further? Any question, any participant like to ask?
Rathod sir.
Sir, might have time is over. Now 3:30.
नहीं सर, अभी 6 मिनट बाकी हैं।
Okay, sir.
जो है
डिस्कशन के लिए सर, डिस्कशन
आपने जो है 10 मिनट बाद स्टार्ट किया था।
Yes, sir.
आप अभी बंद करना चाहते हो, मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है।
नहीं है sir, नहीं sir. This is time for discussion, sir.
What discussion? You can ask what discussion? I'm asking question in between and they are replying. What discussion you want to have? Please, any question any one of you want to ask?
Dear participants are requested to ask whatever the question raised from your side to Dr. Honorable Dr. Sansanwal sir. Hello,
Yes, please.
Hello, sir.
dear
Yes.
participants.
Agar, Arti, Sir Shivsri sir.
हेलो सर।
हाँ, go ahead.
मोस्टली कहा जाता है कि सर इंट्रोडक्शन के बाद रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर होता है।
ये आप थीसिस की बात कर रही हैं।
यस।
राइटिंग की बात कर रही हैं। मैं थीसिस राइटिंग की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं स्टेप ऑफ रिसर्च की बात कर रहा हूँ।
ओके सर, ओके ओके।
थीसिस राइटिंग में आप अगर मेरे को बताते कि मैं थीसिस राइटिंग मैं बोल देता हूँ, नो प्रॉब्लम।
नहीं सर, मुझे लगा थीसिस में ऐसा होता है।
नहीं बेटा, वो जो थीसिस लिखते हैं
हाँ।
उसमें अलग चैप्टराइजेशन होता है। उसमें फर्स्ट चैप्टर, सेकंड चैप्टर, थर्ड चैप्टर, फोर्थ चैप्टर, ये चैप्टर अलग होते हैं।
ओके सर।
स्टेप से अलग है। I only talking about the steps. और कोई क्वेश्चन? और कोई क्वेश्चन any participant like to ask?
Sir, please give some highlight on databases in the social sciences. Yes, sir. Databases in social sciences for literature review. Databases in social sciences.
My dear friend, I have already told you. One is the Shodh Ganga. Shodh Ganga is the database, and you can have it from there. Another can be some of the government reports are there, online available. You can have that. So it all depends upon what type of data you need for geography. So your meteorological department, they have a lot of data related to environment. You can take it from them, no problem at all.
Yes, sir. Some of the more advanced one like Elio, Elo, Eric. Elo is
Eric is useless. Eric is, that is the related literature. When I told you in the related literature, you see, here in the related literature, I said dissertation abstract international. Eric is here. This is dissertation abstract international. It is in all subjects. So therefore, that Eric is not a very special one. It is there. I have said. Any
Okay,
other?
sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other question any one of you want to ask? Okay.
Okay.
And my dear friends, I have told you, I have given you the examples of the titles, and majority of the titles written in geography are technically wrong. So that means you do not know how to write the title of a research. So, well, it's all up to you whether you want to improve or you don't want to improve. And people are writing both the research questions and objectives. That is technically wrong. You should not write both because the meaning is the same. You are unnecessarily duplicating, and your objectives wording is wrong. You can't use the word evaluate. You can't use the word examine. You can't use the word find out. So you should understand how to write a title, how to write objectives, how to write hypothesis. Well, I'm not telling all these things because I don't have time. Otherwise, you people must understand. Otherwise, you can't have a research whose quality is very good. Now, these days, people think of writing the paper in the Scopus journal. Now, if you are technically not very correct, so you can't publish paper in that. So you have to become very, very strong. So any other question anyone wants to ask, please go ahead. No question? Okay, so thank you.
Okay.
If you are not no question, thank you very much then. Fine.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
Rathod sir, proceed.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank
Vote of
you.
thanks.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for nice presentation. We have learned a lot from your presentation about the literature review and data resources. We have discussed a lot with the participants. If you have any doubt again, you can ask to Dr. Sansanwal sir as an open discussion for you participants. If you have any doubt and questions from your side, you can ask again Honorable Dr. Sansanwal sir. So might have a lot of questions are raised in the mind of the participant and they have already discussed. Might have they don't have any questions regarding this topic because sir has clear almost all the questions raised in the mind of the participants. Thank you, sir, for giving a valuable time to us and give nice presentations on literature, review and data resources. On behalf of Honorable Principal of this college, Chairman of RAC and other my colleagues, thank you very much, sir. And with the permission of chair, now the session is over.
Okay. Dear participant, you are requested to any session you have open your video. Minimum 5 minutes. Don't turn off your video. Don't mute. Minimum 5 minutes your video will be unmute. This is essential for the reporting of the ICSSR. Okay. Okay. Thank you, all of you. Thanks. Tomorrow our session will be start sharply 10 o'clock. Tomorrow. Now we have the chairman of this institute, Principal Dr. Madhavji Gavani sir. This session will be over.
Sir, today's feedback link, sir.
You will be get sometimes our
Okay,
website, WhatsApp group.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Director Saab, thank you. Thank you very much.
Dhanyawad for your cooperation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Kundan sir.
पुणे सर चांगलं झालं सेशन उजळंबे सर बोलतोय.
अरे कुठे तुम्ही व्हिडिओ ऑन करा हो, आम्हाला पाठवायचे तुमचे फोटो. ICSSR ला पाठवायचे चेहरे कोण प्रेझेंट होतं कोण ऍबसेंट होतं ते.
संसलवाड सर छानच घेतात सर. संसलवाड सरांचं एक्सपिरियन्स खूप जास्त आहे.
सर सेशन खूप चांगले होत आहेत. थोडंसं मराठी भाषेमध्ये पण सांगितलं बरं होईल.
काय झालं गिरी सर, आपले पार्टिसिपंट जे आहे ना काही ते पार्टिसिपंट आउट ऑफ स्टेट पण आहेत काही, त्याच्यामुळे आपण मराठी अवॉइड करतो.
थोडंसं हिंदीचं पण सांगायला सांगा. हिंदीमध्ये पण
चालेल.
सांगायला.
हिंदीत सांगू, मराठी शक्य नाही सर. थोडस मराठी अवॉइड.
काल पण चांगली आजची राहिली फक्त.
सायडे सर.
हा बोला ना
सर, गायकवाड सरचे ते चांगलं चाललं होतं, पण मला वाटतं त्यांचं ते इंग्लिश मध्ये सुरू केल्यामुळे थोडंफार हे झालं, पण अदरवाईज नॉलेजेबल पर्सन.
ठीक आहे चला आपण ऑफ करू याला. लाईव्ह रेकॉर्डिंग सुरू आहे, युट्यूब वर प्रसारण चालू आहे, त्याच्यामुळे यू हॅव टू टेक केअर. सर पुढे सर मीटिंग एंड करा सर.